Welcome back, everybody, to Virginia International Raceway. An incredibly busy day continues. As you can see, the Touring Car America Touring Car Field is set for their first race of this doubleheader weekend. Round 3 of the championship is about to unfold, and this one should be good based on what we've seen from this championship already this season, and certainly from what we saw from this class racing here last year. Johann Schwartz on another pole position here, and he was able to parlay one of the poles from last year into a win. He'd like to do that again today, but I'll tell you, he's got Toby Grahovic right alongside, and these two guys, they are equal. It is going to be something special, Cal.
It will. 4 BMWs will lead the pack to the green flag here this afternoon. The big question mark is Jeff Ricker, whether he can get his car fixed after a big off in qualifying this morning. Johann Schwartz's pole time over a second clear of Toby, but it was a very disrupted session, and I think Toby will be a lot closer to that front-running pace here once the green flag falls.
And starting in the 4th spot, a winner here last year as well, Steve Strymer in the number 81. Moving over to Rooster Hall in the BMW, Paul Terry. The Reardon Racing Nissan has shown great speed here in the past, certainly did so here. I think one of the big surprises, Cal, is the guy who qualified 3rd. He just did a couple or just one-off weekend last year. Showed some potential here, but jumps up 3rd in qualifying. Richard Zulman, teammate to both Schwartz and Strymer, and what a remarkable run in the number 84.
Yeah, he's a fun guy, and to be following his team leader and championship leader to the green flag, he'll line up right behind him in the 3rd slot on the grid, so that's a tremendous performance.
Yeah, it was indeed, and it's going to be an awful lot of fun. The guy who has decided to take on Ironman level competition status this weekend, Marko Radicic, in the classic BMW, Performance Racing Tech.com BMW. Late decision to run, qualifies 7th.
Yeah, it's a nice run. He said it's a big transition moving over from the GT4 car essentially to this touring car BMW, but he's up for his 6 races this weekend, yes. So he's going to be a busy boy.
And in the 6th qualifying spot, the number 94, the Copart Bimmer World Racing, BMW of Chandler Hull. Great qualifying run for him. 8th spot, the number 82, Cameron Evans, also driving Copart Bimmer World Racing BMW, the M240 IR Cup car. Starting in the 9th spot, the number 32, Shehan Chandrasoma, the 15-year-old in the Tech Sport Racing Nissan 370Z. Then in the 10th spot, number 52, Tom Capizzi in the Autotechnic Racing BMW. His first ever race on a pro level was at Circuit of the Americas in the season opener. And he said it was a huge learning curve, and he said it's going to continue this year. I get that. And I think we may have seen, Cal, the number 55 of Mosey Uretsky running for Murillo Racing in the BMW this year. Qualified 11th. He could have been a little bit farther up, but he had some sort of, it looked like an electrical glitch in that session, and sat alongside the track for a little while. That probably disrupted his rhythm, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. And he set that time like first lap out, and then had that red flag, and then had a technical issue after that, so look for him to move up the grid a little bit.
There's a look at the front row as they're off on the pace lap and the installation lap. You mentioned Jeff Ricker had the incident. Joseph Federal also had an off and had some damage to his Tech Sport Nissan. We'll see whether he's able to make it. And Robert Nimkoff, for whatever reason, in the Autotechnic car, didn't get out and get a time in that session. Hopefully they got that resolved. He'll have to start from the back. There's a look at row number 2, the 84 of Zulman, and the yellow and blue Rooster Hall entry, the number 4 of Strymer, as they are following the beautiful Acura, the official pace car and safety vehicle of the SRO American Championships. There's Paul Terry. That will be next up here behind that number 81. There's Paul in that recognizable sort of black and teal entry from Reardon Racing. And we saw some serious speed from him last year. He had a pretty big shunt in the 2nd race, but certainly showed some pace. I think he's going to be somebody to watch here, certainly in the early going.
Oh, when he is on, he was really on. So tends to run a little bit hot and cold in terms of the consistency of the performance, but certainly has the pace. And let's not forget, that's a team that had a few problems yesterday, had some parts getting to the track late, had the wet session. So for Paul Terry to be qualifying up in the top 5, that potentially shows signs that he could be moving a little bit further towards the sharp end by the checkered flag this afternoon.
There's a look at Tom Capizzi in the number 52, as we mentioned, from Autotechnic. There's Uretsky in that orange and white BMW from Murillo Racing. And there is the number 20 of Nimkov. Good to see him out. And his Auto Technic entry, so it looks like I don't see. Although I wonder if Federal is in that yellow Nissan.
Okay.
They may have had a secondary car and may have been able to get him in that. But you're right, I don't see Rick. And I'm not surprised.
Right,
that was big damage, and you know the rear wheels weren't turning on that one, so that may have got into the chassis a bit. This track long enough, only one pace or formation lap here, and then we are going to be going to green. Plenty enough time for them to get enough temp into the tires and brakes and the like. Now this is a 40-minute timed event. And Johan with Toby alongside. Toby, a former touring car champion in this category a couple of years ago.
With the championship lead, and is tied with Jeff Ricker, who doesn't look like he's going to see green flag here today. So
yeah, it's tough.
Good chance for Johan to get a big jump, but Toby's right there, sitting only 4 points back. Early days, though.
So big opportunity for Toby. Federal, obviously, at the backs, got some work cut out, so Paul Terry has an opportunity, and here we go. Pace car is in, and so it's up to Johan Schwartz. When they get into this final turn, you're allowed to start to accelerate, not sudden acceleration, but a gentle acceleration. But once it goes green, you can go. Field looking beautifully lined up, exactly what race director Peter Roberts wanted to see. And Johan bringing them up slow, Cal.
Well, there's 4 BMWs. They should all accelerate at the same rate, so it's all about the reaction for the drivers.
And we are green in racing at Virginia International Raceway. And Johan just enough, jumps in, smart move, savvy driver, and Toby Grahovic just tucks in, protects his position, and slips in front of the number 84, Zulman.
Nice clean start there. Someone drops a wheel briefly on the exit of turn 1, but there's 1 through 5 as they lined up on the grid with Terry there, the first of the non-BMW runners.
I'll tell you, this left turn, turn 3, just goes on forever, and then into a very tight turn 4. Everybody just slotting in. This is smart little action there back in about 7th or 8th. Working their way through the snake. You can see why. Feel that closely packed. That's exactly what it looks like.
Pretty much one line through there, and then you start to stretch your legs a little bit. Tire temps won't be there just yet, so won't have the nice comfy feeling you'll get on lap 2 or 3, but even so, what a piece of ribbon of asphalt this is.
And there's a good little battle already shaping up. The lead group is eased away, and then Radisik and the number 28 trying to fend off a couple of guys here in the back. Meanwhile, Terry already looking at the number 81 of Steve Strymer. Strymer in that yellow BMW, Terry in the black and green Nissan right on his 6. And then there is Radisik, and he is getting huge pressure right now. That's the 52 of Capizzi.
Everyone's starting to settle in side by side down the back stretch here.
Big move.
Nice job by Nimkov.
That's a great start. It's a 52 of Capizzi. He's moved up a couple of spots, Cal.
Through the roller coaster. This is the real feel right there. Yes. Do you have grip coming through Hogpen? If it's there, then you got the confidence to attack.
And yeah, once Capizzi got through on Radisik, he is checking out. Then it's Radisik, and then behind him is the 82 of Cameron Evans. Meanwhile, up front,
Zulman, big move down to the inside. Putting the pressure on. Terry's got around Strymer. It looks like Strymer comes back at him as they exit turn 2.
Oh, I thought that was going to be another big move. I think that might have been
right
Chandler
there.
Hall. Yeah.
Ooh, Terry really loose there. He's struggling. I'm not sure if he's got a cut down tire or something, but he's suddenly dropped pace big time. This guy at the marbles or what's going on? But certainly that Nissan struggling for grip.
Strymer wanting to pounce. Just not a lot of room to make that happen. There's that lead trio. Then the gap now back to Terry.
Richard Zulman keeping the pressure on Toby Grahovic. That's a great little run for him. You can see Terry up on the wheel.
No problem for Mosey Uretsky. You can see how far off the track you get here in a hurry.
Down in turn 1, it looks like. A lot of rain here yesterday, so gradually drying out. Looks like a beautiful weekend for racing. No forecast of further rain until we get through the racing action tomorrow night.
The interesting thing is that grass can stay damp for a little bit, though, and you get off and you just start sliding.
That's one place, as you can see, you can arrest the car in time, but there's others where you literally will end up in the fence, even if it's a minor off, just with the camber of the runoff areas here.
Looks like Terry's been able to equalize whatever that issue was in that Reardon Racing Nissan. I wonder if, yeah, you're right, he ran wide somewhere and junked up his tires. Now he's finally got them cleaned off.
He seems to have good pace and balance once again.
Yeah.
Looked a bit iffy for 2 or 3 corners there. Zulman staying right there with Grahovic in that battle for second position. Schwartz comfortable out front. Stretches that margin nearly to 2 seconds.
Yeah, Zulman playing great wingman for Johan, isn't he? Just hounding Grahovic and not letting him sort of fold the mirrors down and go after Schwartz.
Testimony to the team as well, having 2 cars up in the top 3.
3 in the top 5 now with Strymer running for the team.
Terry's really struggling coming off that.
Yes, he is.
Turn 1. Strymer's all over him.
I think Mosey may have, I wonder if he actually broke something or if he's just not finding grip.
He's just looking for a safe zone to get out of the way, possibly. Either way, leaders now attack the S's one more time. Curious to see what's going on with Paul Terry through the exit of turn 1, because Strymer's all over him, and now it's settled back down again. Richard Zulman will be learning a lot right here.
Yes.
You know, the way you learn is to be around drivers who have more experience and just follow their lead, but he's came in really clean. Just needs to be patient.
Once Terry, yeah, you're right. Once he gets through turn 1, that car starts to show a little bit of pace, and he's actually looks like he's closed back up on the back of the deal here. And Zulman got a great draw. He is in the draft. Is he going to pop and look to the inside? He's thinking about it.
He's doing a nice job of controlling things and not overcommitting. Only Terry has the straightaway speed. He's about 3 to 6 kilometers faster than the guys he's running around, so that Nissan has pace down the straightaway, but certainly the BMW over the lap is very strong.
Now see if we can watch the 4th place car, the 33 of Terry, as he gets down into turn 1 here, because he's really close up on Zulman here. Now watch, this is where he really seems to struggle, isn't it, Cal? Let's watch. And oh, inside contact.
Wow, that was a bit over-ambitious there. That was a bit early in the going for making that sort of level of commitment.
Yeah, he hit the curb, it looked like, and then bounced into Zulman, didn't he?
Paul Terry, we'll see what happens.
That is unfortunate. And looks to see Zulman is going to be able to continue, although you have to wonder about damage. Looks like Terry moving as well. That's the good news, is we may not have a full course caution, but how healthy are the cars?
And Terry now pulls off. Uretsky's still trying to find his way back. Terry's car may be damaged. He attempted to go. Here it is. Just a late move. Not sure if he just overcommitted and whether he's going to attempt the pass, but just got it wrong. Not sure if that was a legitimate attempt at passing Greg, or he just missed his braking point, but either way, that's a tragedy really for Richard Zulman, because he was having such a strong run going, just keeping his nose clean, probing for a way through on Toby Grahovic. And there's Terry's car parked.
Yeah, he was really pushing and looked good, Zulman did, so Terry now stopped on the side. You can see the Luma rank.
Oh, someone's just...
Ooh. Oh, that's a big, that looks like it may be Federal in that repaired car.
Wow, that's a big one.
And yeah, we're full course caution now.
Let's take a look here, up through the S's, pushing hard.
Oh yeah.
Yes, came up, I think it was on Zulman, right? Who's probably not running at full speed and just didn't read the situation.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the number 32. Oh, that's Shehan Chandrasoma. Okay. It's the young 15-year-old. This was really his first ever race in a car. He's done a lot of karting, and that inexperience, I think, right there showed, didn't it?
It did, and it's hard to read. I mean, obviously, Zulman's car had been quick, and he's coming up through ES. Has probably either got damage or just feeling his car out, and 32 machine just came up on him at a rapid rate, tried to flick around him, then there was nowhere to go with it.
So the SRO America safety team arrives on the scene to have a chat.
This racetrack is old school. There's
Yes,
not a lot of margin for mistakes or running off.
Now, of course, the clock continues to run here under the full course caution. You can see a number of the cars here. It's really a bit of a ballet the way these EV and safety crews come out, as they'll park around and protect the workers that are talking to the driver. You know, even under a full course caution, cars are still moving through the area.
It's all very well orchestrated.
Yeah, it truly is. And there's the response. So at the time of the caution, we have Schwartz, Grahovic, and Strymer, your top three right now. Let's get down to Ryan, who is with Reardon Racing team owner Laura Tallman.
Yeah, it's been a frantic couple of minutes there. Several incidents on track, and your driver, Paul Terry, was involved in one. I know you had a chance to see the replays. Presumably you heard from Paul as well. Yes. What do you know about what took place?
It looks like it's a similar issue with last year. We came here last year with some added weight, which, you know, forced us to struggle quite a bit under braking, and that's something that we've been pretty careful about. But what he radioed in is that the cars in front of him slowed down unexpectedly. In order to compensate for that, he got on the brakes a little bit too hard, and with the added weight, the Nissan does struggle with that. It's a great little car, but that much weight makes a difference.
Is the car all right and still good to go to continue here today?
Not today. He's not able to bring it back to the pits. Hopefully the damage isn't too great and we can, you know, have it ready for tomorrow.
So the preparations begin then to try and get the car ready for race number 2.
Yes, always. I think we'll make it.
Thank you for the time, Laura.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. And you can see, I mean, when he got that inside curb, I think the damage probably happened maybe when he bounced over and got into Zulman.
Yeah, I think they just kind of rushed up on him. I don't think the other drivers were braking any earlier than they had been, so I think you know, Paul just didn't quite gauge the pack in front and had to dive down to the inside. You're in the dirt, you can't slow it down, you leap over that curb, and that's when you hit Richard.
See the track crews where Chandrasoma got into that barrier, it moved it just a little bit, and I'll tell you, these guys were prepared. They were ready for what they needed to do.
Man is on it.
Yeah,
it's a workout.
Swinging a mean sledge right there. In the pit box, that's called a convincer. So hopefully this won't take too long here. As we said, the clock continues to run, but for Toby Grahovic, it now gives him an opportunity with the pressure from Zulman not there anymore, and the opportunity to sort of think things over here and figure out an answer, because as you pointed out, Schwartz very quickly was able to lope out to about a 2-second margin, wasn't he?
He was, but looking at the fast lap times, I mean, Terry had just laid down the fastest lap of the race prior to the big move down into turn 1, and there's many other drivers who have shown pace ahead of Schwartz, so maybe he's just controlling things. He's a savvy driver and got a smart head on his shoulders in terms of his racecraft, but even so, I think there's potential of some fast guys behind us. We now bring the pack down pit lane under this red flag condition.
That's a good point, because Hull had a 2:02.4.
Yeah.
Just a 7 1/1000ths off of the Terry time. So yeah, the cars behind Johan and certainly Grahovic have some pace. But yeah, red flag has been called.
Been a tough day for some of our touring car competitors, what with qualifying issues and now this early race action. Zulman's team, the Rooster Hall boys and girls, getting things put back together.
Yeah, and under red flag conditions, you're not supposed to work on the car, but they were already in the pits, and I think that exempts you from that because you were already doing the work and sitting in pit lane. And just to get him out, get him a little bit more track time, and hopefully, if it's just cosmetic and the tape holds and everything, obviously he's out of a shot at a real competitive finish today. But getting him a little bit more time on the track with the pace he was showing, big for tomorrow.
Yeah, and points only go down to 10th, but even so, he's still inside the top 10 with problems for the other runners. So who knows? There could be other action, and just got to get back out there as on damage control at this point and get a read on the car as well.
It's truly unfortunate for him what has happened, obviously, but all right, let's get back down to Ryan Marine in pit lane. What's up?
Thank you, Greg. I wanted to check in with Rooster Hall team. Eric Meyer is the crew chief here. Richard Zolman is in the pit lane behind us. Repairs are going on now. First, what can you tell us from your perspective about the incident that Richard was caught up in?
It looks like it was a turn one incident with the 33 Nissan. I think he came in a little hot, trying to outbrake us a little bit into turn one, and then just got a little too much speed into the corner. So it's a little bit of damage here on the right side. We're going to put a tire on it and try to at least complete 50% of this race.
From what you've heard from Richard and what you've seen on the car, is it primarily cosmetic damage, or might it have gotten into the suspension to some degree?
It's tough to say. He really didn't say. With that flat tire, you can't really evaluate suspension damage too much with a flat. So we put another tire on it. We'll evaluate it. If we can at least 50% of this race, we'll get some points for the day, and we'll get it fixed up tonight and ready for tomorrow.
The bright side is you've got a couple of other bullets in the gun, so to speak, and looking pretty strong at this point.
Oh yeah, we got the 80 car with Johan in first place and Steve Streimer in third place right now. So let's see when we go back green what happens here, and hopefully it's a good result.
Thanks for the time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah, and Streimer had a lap at a 2:02.7 was his best lap, and the lap before this red flag, he was about 0.6 quicker than Grahovic, so he might be somebody to surely watch for here.
Yeah, and some bad news for that team is that there's a new regulation this year. You have to do 75%, so they need to get on it. Last year it was 50% to score points. This year, with points only scoring down to 10th position, they feel it's appropriate to move that timeline in the race a bit further in.
And while we are under a red flag, just important to point out, time is continuing to click away. That's up to the race director's discretion, and when you have a very busy schedule like this, you just can't afford to keep stopping the clock to get through the day. And so at this point, smart move when you're fixing a guardrail like that. You don't want cars rumbling through in the background. Just bring them in and park them and get that taken care of, and hopefully we can get back out and get running here in short order.
It's been a busy day for the track walkers with the various incidents in the qualifying sessions. This is the first race of the weekend, but even so, they seem up to the task, led by Kerrigan Smith, who's the president and COO of VAR. Got that promotion last year. He and Connie Nyholm, the track owner, do such a tremendous job with this beautiful facility. It's like being out in the countryside with a racetrack suddenly right in the middle of it.
And it's fabulous. We had, there was a meeting with staff and the like, and some of the track personnel that Kerrigan was at. And whenever there was some sort of an issue, he said, we'll take care of that for you. I mean, it's just, yep, whatever you need, we'll make it happen. I want to just give a shout out here to the number 20 of Robert Nimkoff in the Auto Technic Racing machine. He did not get a time in that qualifying session, Cal, and started at the back. He has quietly worked his way up into 6th. And he's a driver that's got some chops and some pace, and we've got the field underway once again. Great job by the VIR staff here, maintenance staff, to get out and get that area of the track dealt with here. We're back in at it. Still got time on the clock.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
See what Johann Schwartz has up his sleeve here in terms of if he had more pace to burn or whether he was tapped out. As we've seen, looking at the lap times, I mean, Johann's fastest lap so far is a 2:02.8. Grahovic in the 3s, but then you got Streimer 2:02.7, Haller 2:02.4. Terry was no longer part of the action. Had also run a 2:02.4, slightly quicker one. So there's some fast cars out there behind Johann. This is not going to be easy, but he's got the track position and got the experience to know how to deal with the attack.
Well, in this long essential stoppage here, along with a couple of pace parade laps, if there was any need to manage the Pirelli P0s, that's minimized now, and so you can just kind of
full attack mode.
Exactly. Exactly. But underneath the bridge here, exiting the snake, is up in the climbing S's where Chandra Soma had the incident. Interesting to see here for the number 82 of Evans and Federal, who had that incident and also ended up essentially without a time, sitting in the 9th spot, and that is the car that he had the off in. They said it was fixable, but his times have not been there, so it may be just a scenario where they were able to fix the car, but they may not have been able to really get that setup back where he wanted it in that short amount of time.
Right. With the other incident, we understand that Jeff Ricker was transported to the local hospital to be put under observation, but we believe there's nothing serious, but it was a big hit coming down through the roller coaster when he just dropped a wheel there this morning.
That's pretty much SOP, isn't it? Standard operating procedure. You have a big hit like that, you're gonna go get at least thoroughly checked over, and I think that's only the smart thing to do. Oh, we get to see how this is going to play out. Probably by the time we get to green, we'll have around 19 minutes or so. Lights are out on the Acura NSX safety vehicle. So Schwartz, Grahovic, Streimer, Hull, Capizzi, your top 5.
So BMW's top 8.
Yes, it is.
First Nissan back in 9th position with Federal.
Everybody now, he's trying to get up there and pack up just a little bit. Last thing you want, you've got a relatively small field here. There's no reason to be caught lagging anywhere, and Johan goes early this time. That's okay by the rules. You get in that last turn, as soon as the pace car is clear, you can roll into the throttle. He has done that, and we're green. Back to racing here with 19.5 minutes here in round 3 of the Touring Car America Touring Car Championship chase. Oh, very aggressive move in the back. Nimkov trying to get around Capizzi.
Yeah, you said it. He was a man on the move. He's under the attack. Immediately got a good run off that final corner. Was on the attack zone down into turn 1. Timed it nicely. Now he looks to the underside of turn 3.
Both of those cars, Capizzi and Nimkov, are running for the same program, Autotechnic. So you'll attack, but you won't do so overly aggressively. Oh, Capizzi, big slide.
He's out there dropping wheels as well.
Yes.
Who's laid down some very impressive lap times. See if his car comes to life early. Certainly Grahovic has not let Schwartz sprint away here.
No.
Streimer's had a good restart lap as well.
There's Hull. There's Capizzi. It's the Autotechnic white BMW with the orange trim. Oh, huge save. He got away with one there. That was Hull.
Yeah, he really did. You are literally along for the ride there. Rodeo time there through the S's.
One wrong bounce. It gets ugly in a hurry here. Watch it here.
Another look, just eats up a little bit too much of that curb, and fortunately you're pretty much in a straight line. If you're trying to turn at the same time, you hit bumps like that, that can literally spit you across the racetrack in a high-speed section.
Interesting team, the Copart with Bimmerworld support. Great to have Bimmerworld back in the World Challenge. Oh boy, that looks like Nimkov. And he was in that fight to get around his teammate Capizzi. Nimkov a lot more experienced than Capizzi, but Capizzi was certainly putting up a spirited defense. And Nimkov buried into the tires. Good sign there from the course worker. He's leaned in, had a chat with Nimkov, but that means another full course caution, Cal, and that's unfortunate because you knew that battle up front was going to be getting pretty tasty.
Tough to get a rhythm here today for all our drivers out there. A lot of disruption in the qualifying session this morning and now in the race as well. Hard to get a read on who has the strength.
You obviously have to wait till all the cars are cleared and the safety vehicle has picked up the field before you can get out and really do anything in terms of working with Nimkov. You can see the back end of the car slightly elevated. Watching the background here.
I wonder wonder if he was distracted a little bit by looking up ahead and seeing Hull going for a ride, and maybe he missed his marks.
Watch left, there he hits. Yeah, it was a good one. I think he may have done the same thing, huh?
You're suddenly looking up ahead, and maybe you miss your marks a little bit, get offline here, or bite you. Obviously, there's some dust being dropped by Hull bouncing across the road there. I don't know if Nimkov started to lose control before the dirt would have been on the road or right in it.
And you see Robert Thompson, the SRO safety. First, you can see Nimkov just frustrated as he crawls out. So he was attacking, no question. He had a pretty quick car. He'd come from dead last up into 6th.
It's tough with these double-header weekends. These are not easy cars to repair on site. You start getting a frame and body damage like this. These are not modular cars like some of the GT3, GT4 cars as much. So,
yeah, Nimkov came in here 6th in the points, and with Zane Hogden not running, he had an opportunity to move up a little bit. He also had, because of the issue in that qualifying session, Joseph Federal was, who's 3rd in the points, was behind him at that time, so I'm sure he's going to be doubly frustrated. But we've talked about it
right now. It's a frustrating time for a driver.
Sure.
Right in the thick of the action, and not quite sure what caused the moment, whether he was just distracted by Hull bouncing off the road, or whether there's some dirt that was being brought onto the racetrack and he lost grip a little bit.
And as you said before, this isn't Circuit of the Americas with all that runoff, and this one, it bites. That's part of the challenge, obviously. So 14.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think we'll get some action.
I think so too. All depends on what is with the story with the tire bundle behind it. If it's in decent shape, they can just pull them out, tuck them into a safety spot. We can get going. Meanwhile, let's check back into the pit lane while we're under caution with Ryan.
Thank you, Greg. Alex Perry is overseeing this classic BMW operation, while Toby Grahovic is out on the racetrack running 2nd right now. What has he told you about the race car and the race so far, such as it is, and haven't had a lot of green flag laps?
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of green flag laps so far, a couple of crashes out there. He's just trying to figure out where Johan's faster, where Johan's slower, try to, plan his race for the end, and hopefully he can get past him and take that '1 spot overall.
Based on what we've seen so far, does he feel like he's got the car under him to chase Johan down?
He feels like he's got the car. Turn 17, he's losing a little bit to Johan, so he knows he's got to get it done long before that.
It's a busy weekend for you guys, not just racing in this class, but several others as well. How do you try and keep it all organized? I'm sure it's organized chaos, right?
No, definitely organized chaos. We have 5 cars. We have 10 races this weekend, so our crew's been doing a great job keeping all the cars in tip-top shape and ready to go out there and race. And our drivers give it the best they can.
Thank you so much. Good luck to Toby the rest of the way in this one.
All right, thank you very much.
Interesting that, wasn't it, that he knows he loses a little bit to Johan in 17, so you got to get it done somewhere else.
It's a tricky corner. It's really hard to feel comfortable through there. I think Johan is the drift king, so he's willing to hang out a little bit through there and catch the car.
And last year, Toby and his co-driver Chris Omach got a win in the AM category in the Sprint X event here, so they've had success at this track, certainly. They have Nimkov's car now on the back of the hook. It looks like they're
working on that guardrail. See the sledgehammer going at it again there in the background.
Well, that guy's going to need some.
He's getting a work off. It's the same man.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of Motrin and a early night's sleep, I think.
Buy that man a beer.
Absolutely. So. And coming up on 12 to go, there's the current run order as they go under the caution here. And boy, I'll tell you, for Federal having that problem in the qualifying run and coming in here, as we talked about, 3rd in the points, with everything that's unfolded in front of him, suddenly he's knocking on the door of a top 6. That has got to be good news. There was the 84. Nice to see Mr. Zulman back out on track. Down a lap. but still out there.
Yeah.
That's valuable track time.
It is. Good feel for the car, see if there's anything too much amiss with it in terms of preparing for tomorrow's race. Who knows? Rate of things have been going, Greg, with incidents. He just keeps it clean. He could move further up the order. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's been tough to keep it clean here today.
It has been. He comes in here tied with Capizzi for 9th in the points. Zulman does. Capizzi right now sitting in that 5th spot. Right behind him on the restart will be the 28 of Radisic. And behind Radisic is Federal. And you talked about the rhythm here. It really isn't necessarily too telling, is it? That Grahovic's best lap is a 2:03.2 compared to Schwartz's 2:02.8. You'd think, wow, that's almost half a second. But there's been no rhythm to this race. We haven't really seen anything.
No, and he was having to defend from Zulman there a little bit. And when you start to get a bit defensive in terms of your lines into some of these corners, that does compromise your lap time. So he's obviously spoken to his crew and said, listen, Johan's gapping me a little bit coming out of 17. That's such an important corner because it's not just the speed through the corner. It leads all the way down the front stretch and in one of the prime overtaken areas. So if Johan is seeing that in his rearview mirror, he'll have that certainly implanted in his brain just to hit his marks and be tough for Toby to have a run down to turn 1.
As you can see, they have Nimkov's car on the wrecker, and had we an opportunity to get to green in a hurry, I'm sure they would have tucked that car away, but they knew there was a little bit more repair that had to be done to the guardrail, so they said, just get it into the pits for them so they can get to work on it here. And speaking of getting to work, let's get back down to Ryan.
Yeah, let's check in with the Bimmer World Copart team because Chandler Cole's having a good run. Dave Wagner is the team manager for this operation. What has Chandler told you about the race car so far?
He said the car's been very good. We tested here a couple times. We're good enough to have a sponsor like Copart that helps us out with that. So Beamer World's facility is right next to here. So we've tested here a couple times. Chandler's got a lot of laps there. So he's had a lot of practice here. Even had some good practice in this car, a lot different from COTA. So I think that's why he's more comfortable here than a lot of some of the other tracks he's been to.
When you were testing here, were weather conditions similar to what we're experiencing this weekend?
They were a lot cooler typically here, but this track is really, really good with tires. So it's a really nice place for us to test at. We're lucky to have our Beamer World facility so close to it. So
running in the top 5 right now. Looks like we'll be going back to green soon. How confident are you that Chandler can move his way forward here in the restart?
Based on the lap times that I've seen from him, I think he's got a shot. If he does a good job with this restart, then I think he's got a really good shot at it. We'll see.
Thank you for the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's a good point. James Clay, of course, Bimmer World team owner, lives in Virginia. It's home. Right. This is his track.
They've had a lot of success here over the years, so it's good to have that notebook, know what the racetrack demands, and obviously as you move through new platforms, a lot of the information will still translate.
Mm-hmm. We're just watching to see those yellow lights on top of that Acura go out. If they do, it's generally, we were told, it will be between Oak Tree and the start of the roller coaster from 12 to 13 and 14. So I think we'll see that soon here as we're now just under 8 minutes to go in this one.
Yeah, probably looking at 3 to 4 laps to go here, so hopefully we will see those lights go out and get to the action a little bit sooner than anticipated.
And obviously,
wreckers out everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of hard work for some of the crews here to repair some of this damage. But the upside, that's one of the nice things about these doubleheader weekends is if you have a rough race and the car is still, raceable, you've got another opportunity the next day.
Yes, I think Paul Terry's car should be fixable. It didn't look like a big hit. I would assume that the left front suspension is maybe damaged from the hit with Zulman. Pit stop to refuel all the recovery vehicles.
Yeah, it's been a busy day, hasn't it? It looks like lights staying on for the Acura.
Yeah,
safety
a lot
vehicle.
Of action still out there.
Yeah, there sure is.
Place looks beautiful.
It's a nice shot. Yeah, it really gives you a feel for just how beautifully groomed the facility is. It is, as they bill it, a motorsports resort, and it has that feel to it. Lots of different things going. I mean, you can There's a shooting range. You can go top flight go-kart track. I think there's a rally cross track. You can go learn to do rally cross racing,
Great
etc.
lodge if you want to stay on site, which we're privileged to do this weekend. And
pretty tasty restaurant.
It is really tasty. Connie's Pub.
Yeah, great facility here. And I was just,
the villas.
The villas. I was just about to talk to them. And the guys in the truck are anticipating our every sentence here. These are really special because from every one of those decks, you are overlooking the climbing S's. And it is a spectacular view of a racetrack. As you can imagine, those villas are quite nice. As you can imagine here, and there, as we open up the shot and look to the left, there are those climbing S's. And it is a beautiful, first time I came here to have a little fun in corner work. They were very, very kind to me. And not this little pagoda, but the one in the background. They set me up there to flag. And watching cars tails away up through the S's from that vantage point, that was special stuff.
Oh, man's still at it. Watch him go.
Yeah, that sledge is moving a little slower, I noticed.
Yeah.
A little less on the rise. Well, then he picks that pace up.
That is impressive.
He must be impressive at a carnival.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, it's a smart move here. I mean, Terry's car was in a relatively safe spot, but cars find amazing places to hit stuff, and it was a good opportunity to get him hooked up and moved into a much safer location. 5 minutes to go.
Time is against us. We need to try and go on this next lap, otherwise safety lap around here takes about 3.5 minutes, so this may be our last opportunity to go back to green.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Again, a big shout out to all of the volunteers, and there's a lot of them from registration all the way through tech at the end of the day in a variety of different specialties, and there's the ones that are out. Always a special thank you to the corner marshals, or corner workers as they say here, out in harm's way, flying those yellow flags, providing information to the drivers in response if need be. So big thank you to all the volunteers, many from the Sports Car Club of America. This track will host in the fall the National Championship runoffs for SCCA, which is the huge amateur national championships for motorsports. They had a race here, a Majors Tour event, they call it, a couple of weeks ago here. And everybody that thought we may have a shot at being able to make it to the runoffs came from wherever to get a little track time here. They had 550 entries.
That's amazing.
For an SCCA club race here in anticipation of the runoffs. Yeah, light's still on that safety car.
I think it's great that the runoffs now moves around to different venues. You know, it's great for the tracks to have all of the SCCA races come to their highlight of the season and explore new venues.
Well, and you know, for years it would sit in one location, and if it was sort of biased to one side of the country, you'd have a lot of racers that were very talented that just couldn't afford the haul and the week away, etc. And so moving around a little bit, it gives people from every part of the country a shot to be able to take part in the runoffs at some point. Well, light's still on, and although the pace cars looks like it's picked the pace up a little bit. Cal, are they anticipating?
Oh, I think he's going to have to run a track record to get him back around here.
I was going to say, yeah, this is
close to it.
So we'll keep an eye on the scoring stand and see if the white comes out along with the yellows here. Or the flag stand. No white yet.
The 6 is a quick machine, so if he gets his elbows out, maybe he can get him around here, but I think this is it, Greg.
Yeah. Well, I believe the driver behind the wheel of that Acura NSX official safety vehicle is from the Skip Barber Racing School, so they know how to get their elbows out and go after it here. The official school of SRO Motorsports America. have such a legendary organization in school, part of the program. Minute and a half to go, yeah.
So Johan's looks like he's on his way to scoring his second win of the championship season. Will extend that lead over, will now be Toby Grahovic, with Jeff Ricker not seeing any action here today. Have to get updates on whether Jeff will in fact be out tomorrow. So it's a big wreck.
Yes, it was. This would be Toby's third straight second as well. As you said, keep him well placed in the points. And Federal, after the issue in the qualifying, with everything that's unfolded here, will earn some points that'll help him. And with Terry having a problem, Nimkoff a problem, the big mover here might be Strymer, right?
Yep.
Came in
point
7th,
west.
so yes.
Nice podium. Coming off a win here last year for Steve Strymer.
He likes this place.
He does. I think everyone will be frustrated by this. It's
yeah, it's a shame.
It's a big build-up for a race weekend, big break since the opening rounds of the championship at Circuit of the Americas, and to not see a lot of green flag action today will hopefully get everyone back in the groove for tomorrow and have a few less mistakes.
And we have seen, we know that these gentlemen here in this class can put on some absolutely phenomenal runs. So hopefully we will be able to see that play out, as I'm sure we will, for the race tomorrow, 4th round of the championship. The next race, is the clock has expired, so we fully anticipate the checker. The next race that'll be unfolding here will be the Pirelli GT4 America Sprint Championship. Follows the same one. Yeah, follows the same format as the touring cars. It's just 10 minutes longer. It's 50 minutes. And meanwhile, watching forward here, Johann Schwartz leading Toby Grahovic and Steve Strymer across the line into the top 3 spots. And the podium for Johann, a great win. You know, that's one of the reasons qualifying is crucial. You never know what will happen in the race. The farther up front you are, the better it is. And Johann getting it done in qualifying brings it home under caution for the win ahead of Grahovic and Strymer. Hull, would have been fun to have seen what he could have done had we been able to be unleashed with the pace that he had. And for Tom Capizzi, that's an impressive finish for him. Finished out of the points in the second race at COTA, and again, a brand new to professional racing for Capizzi, and ends up in only his 3rd race with a top 5. Yes, under caution and such, but still in all, a good deal, and be fun to see what Zulman is able to achieve tomorrow with that car repaired. But for Johann, it's a track he dearly loves as well, and brings home a valuable win.
And for Terry, not the result he's looking for, but he'll grab pole position for tomorrow if that car is repairable, as it should be. It didn't look to be that tough, and Johan's going to have a little bit of work to do coming from the second row of the grid. It looks like it's going to be Terry on the pole with Hull alongside on the front row, and then maybe Strymer and Johann on row 2 unofficially. Looking at the fastest laps of the day.
And that's important to note. It's fast laps in this race, in this format. For the sprint race format, still determines your starting order in the next race. And that's why the race coming up, the GT4 sprint race, even if you're having a tough day in terms of track position, you've got to find a gap and put in a lap. And that's just another one of the interesting challenges. It's got its upsides, it's got its downsides, but it certainly adds some drama, doesn't it?
It does. It's a bit like F1. They've thrown in that bonus point now for fast lap, and it gets everyone thinking towards the end, finding the right strategy to find a clean lap, and certainly for the F1 boys, they'll dive in and throw a set of softies at it to get the grip.
All right, so safety vehicle leading the field around. They will all dive into the pit lane. The top 3 cars in terms of the touring car category will head to the podium, the pace car to the fuel pumps. It's been that kind of day. And they happen. That's just the way it is. A lot of people at West Virginia University considering a win at a Virginia-based track. You see that yellow Sabelt glove. It's a big supporter as well of Johan, and he's got that, had that hand out the window waving to the corner workers and the crowd. This one's special when you can do it at your sponsor's home track, essentially. And the Rooster Hall team will be absolutely delighted. 2 of their drivers in the top 3, and Zulman showing the speed to have been able to be there as well.
Yeah, Rooster Hall certainly have put an impressive group together for this year, and the cars seem to be really dialed in. Johan's on top of his game, so could be tough to beat.
All right, here we go. Cars being pointed over to the podium celebrations. Camera is ready. Ryan is there, and Johan will be crawling out in just a minute. And this is one of those scenarios where you don't ever let anybody tell you qualifying isn't important necessarily. So helmet will be coming off. We will be ready to throw it down to Ryan Marine for a quick word from our 2-time winner now on the season. He's just kind of enjoying the moment here. There we go. Hat comes on.
I'm ready.
And let's get it down to Ryan Marine.
Well, Johan, congratulations.
Well,
second win of the year.
Yeah.
It might not have been the most dramatic win, but you'll take them any way you can get them, right?
Well, it was not dramatic on my side. It was dramatic on other people's side, and I feel really bad for them, especially my buddy Radnikov. There was another Nissan that hit the wall. I hope they're okay. I also thought about Jeff Ricker after qualifying, so I hope these guys are okay. You know, we need the guys out here to have some good shows. Everybody loves TC racing on TV, so these guys need to be out there and to make it happen. So we had a good car for the long run, still trying to build up some tire pressure, and we never really got there. So, but the crew did an awesome job. They gave me a good car in qualifying, and now we got to take the W. A&L BMW is a big part of this Diamond Creek, which keeps me hydrated out there. So I really appreciate what they do for us, and Instramart. So thank you so much, the students from West Virginia. They're doing an awesome job.
Thank you. Congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
So another 25 points into the tally for Johan as he earns the win. There is a look at the provisional results of this championship. And again, we talked about Cal get the opportunity to do it tomorrow. Those who maybe didn't get the opportunity they wanted today have a chance to right that.
Yeah, chance to regroup, get a feel for the race cars. We said it's been a bit of a disjointed weekend one way or another. Very compact schedule. There wasn't a promoter test day here on Thursday, so just action on the racetrack began Friday morning, and one of those sessions was rained out. So they'll certainly have learned a little bit, even though I'm sure they would like a full green flag run here today to get a good true read on the car's handling and setup.
And just to give you a quick update, the team championship led by Rooster Hall Racing, they're going to add to that margin as well here. Classic BMW will probably move into the second spot. So that's how things sit. We're going to wrap things up. The podium is ready for their celebrations. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more. It'll be Pirelli GT4 America's Sprint Racing next up from Virginia International Raceway.